And back deep for Western Illinois, Amari Davis. And he is their fastest player. He is their playmaker. That is actually Fabian Baez, and we are underway in Champaign. Chris Irvin, fifth-year senior quarterback under center. They try the ground game. Nothing going up the middle against this Illinois defense, but a nice strong push there to get out to the 30-yard line. Second down 5. Play action. Irvin's first pass. Quick screen. A little lane here. And Western Illinois starts out with a first down just across the 40-yard line. Found his way to play in 7 games. Now this season is his. Throw again over the middle. Drops at the midfield stripe there. Irvin back to work, swings it out, quick hitter. Another nice pickup here for the Leathernecks. That's Christian Anaya with his first touch tonight. Third down, less than a yard. Holman up the middle, initial resistance, but he got there. Holman remains the tailback. They tried this a couple of times. They like what they have. Short gain out of bounds. Amari Davis, his first touch, picks up 3. See 2 of the hallmarks for Western so far, Phil. They want to go fast, and we've seen the tempo, and they want to throw a lot. Holman up the middle this time. It's a little across the 45. It'll set up third down and 6.
It's a blitz.
They do bring 5. Irvin back foot, incomplete. In the daring move right away, fourth down and 6. They bring 5 again. Irvin completes, short of the first down. Flag does come in just as the completion was made. Only a completion of 3 yards to Alex Williams.
Pass interference. Offense, number 8. Penalties decline. Result of the play is a first down for Illinois.
Luke Altmyer starting for the 24th time in his career. Aiden Lawfery wrapped up in the backfield. Penetration from the Leathernecks right away. Lawfery did get 2. Second down 8 for Illinois. First pass. First completion. Lawfery out of the backfield.
They're going to throw one deep here within the next few plays.
Need 4 right here. Quickly out of his hands. And there's their first down. Hank Beatty, one of the veteran wide receivers, has him inside of Western territory. James move.
Hank Beatty, a lot of talk about him playing the slot receiver inside. This is not an easy throw. I mean, look how far across the field he has to make it. But get the secondary moving back just a little. And a good throw by Luke Altmyer.
Beatty, top returning receiver, coming back from last year's team. First and 10, another quick throw. This time to the left side, and once again it's Beatty. Nifty moves, has him near another first down.
He got a group, he's got the speed guy, possession guy. So I think they're in good shape, Paul.
Third straight pass for Altmyer, well protected, end zone. Contact, 2 flags.
Yeah, I see there's a little grab. Didn't have to do it, the ball was not going to be caught.
Pass interference, defense, number 2. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot, automatic, first down.
Aiden Lawfery really took off at the end of last year. Strong finish there, has him down to the 7. On the sidelines, calling the plays for Illinois. So they're already without Brandon Henderson, the right guard tonight. This is their most experienced offensive lineman. Melvin Priestley, the left tackle. Pardon me, the right tackle. There's Barry Lonnie, 4th year as the offensive coordinator here for Bet Bielema. Longest tenured OC in the Big Ten. Altmyer on the move. He could keep it. And gets down to the 5-yard line.
Well, they got a little bit of everything at running back. Big, small, fast.
Need less than a yard here. There's Fagan. It looks like he did get just enough to set up first down and goal. Fagan remains the tailback. Fake to him. Altmyer. End zone. Touchdown, Illinois. Two-time captain Tanner Arkin with the first score.
And a good first drive by Luke Altmyer.
David Olano right down the middle. Maybe not the case at Morehead State.
No, we didn't even have decals on the helmet.
Everybody knew who Phil Simms was, though.
I don't know about that either, but.
All right, touchback here coming up for Western Illinois, their head coach and play caller.
I mean, I love what he does, but it's a different set of players on the other side in this game.
Irvin from the backside. Atkins got to him. Illinois pounces on it. Gabe Atkins, the preseason All-American, makes the play. Caden Fagan, the tailback. Right up the middle. Nice hole to get him inside the 20-yard line. Picks up 7.
Make the defense think.
They keep 2 tight ends in there quite a bit. Blitz coming for Western. Quick toss, another completion. Good cutback by Alex Kapka-Jones. First and goal inside the 10. The big back, Caden Fagan behind Altmyer. They're going to move him on back 5 yards. Here comes a blitz. Fagan, right side. Positive pickup there down near the 5-yard line.
It was a blitz by the Western Illinois defense.
Operating under center. Fagan. Western Illinois, nice job. Fake it to Fagan. Another touchdown pass for Luke Altmyer. This time, Justin Bowen. His first catch for the Fighting Illini. Extra point is true.
Aaron, let me just tell you, this is the greatest hugger I've ever been around right here. I mean, give me another hug. All right. We did the meeting with him last night, and what energy, Paul.
You got the first one. He was most excited to see the GOAT.
The players, the coaches, fans, media. No, we would not be happy.
Delayed draw for Western Illinois. Not much there. Thrown for a loss is Markel Homer.
To win a lot of games, you need help there.
Chris Irvin got off to a nice start, sets up a screen, almost intercepted. Illini bring 4, slip screen, not much there.
Hard to do any of this stuff, of course, when you're getting overpowered.
Luke Droga-Mueller back to punt. Hank Beatty to receive. Best punt returner in the Big Ten last year. Low line drive. He's got a chance here. Averaged 14 a year ago. Doesn't get that much. Okay, so it was a legal procedure. That's why they're punting this one again. End over end punt. Beatty will just let that one drop, and this will be a nice start for the Illini out near midfield.
Man, he's like he said, that last year the game slowed down. That's why he played so much better.
Tries the ground game. Khalil Valentine for the first time. Well, they are excited about what.
Like I said, 3 running backs, and they all are good at different parts of the game.
Just like that, another first down. Altmyer hasn't missed yet. Look at that pocket. Downfield. Almost a touchdown to Justin Bowick. He already has 1.
How far to lead the receiver?
2nd and 10. Delayed draw. Valentine tries the outside. Good choice out near another first down, about 3 yards short. Right up the middle, stood up. Not even close. Well done, Leathernecks. Again, it's Kevin Washington. And now it's decision time for Barry Lunney.
Well, you go for it on 4th and 3 here because of who you're playing, but also the fact that you got an offensive line that's been celebrated all offseason.
Couple of tight ends in the game. Lawfrey is the tailback. Altmyer wants the pass. Second option, not there. First down via the legs. Possibly a late hit, no flag after a gain of 7, and the drive continues.
Helmet to helmet.
After further review, there is no targeting on the play.
First down and 10. Lawfrey. I thought he had a seam there with the cutback. Nice job of shutting it down to keep him on the 25 and a gain of 2. Christian Pierce making the stop there. Right back on the ball, operating with a little pace now, the Illini. And there's another seam, and there's a sprint to the end zone. Aiden Lawfrey, touchdown. Home state crowd from about 45 minutes north in Gibson City. Extra point, no problems there.
And what they need is just to get something going. If they can get some points on the board.
And Western Illinois will begin on their own 25. Another Hall of Famer. All right, Chris Urban's got to get it going. He started out well. 5 out of 8 for 27 yards. Blitz coming. Now there's a shot and an open man. Big play, Western Illinois. Tamari Davis, their big play receiver.
He's on the outside, Davis. Just going to make a little move, gets down the field. Oh, it was terrible writing. But nice throw by Urban. Under pressure, didn't have a lot of space to throw it, but got it to him for a big gain.
Operating quickly, another sideline shot. This one incomplete to bring up 2nd down 10. So with that 37-yard gain.
Of course, I believe you.
He'll likely need that skill here sometime soon. Around the left side. Illinois ready for that one. Markel Holman could not turn the edge. So they got to pick it up themselves. 3rd down 11. Nice pocket. There's the legs. And he got a little backfill, got about half of it. Got to get to the 29. Now here comes the blitz.
Yep, it was.
Sideline again. Threw it about 3 yards out of bounds. He sees the same kind of thing. Altmyer, he's been hot so far. Another good pocket. Surveys, and that time just throws it away.
Well, I think one thing about Brett Bielema, lots of things I loved about talking to him about football, how he handles the players and all that. But he learned, he said Bill Belichick was a genius. That's one thing. You know, when he said that, I just, well, yeah, of course. I think we all know that. But he wants to know, is there, to make sure this team stays and keeps going upward, to be one of those teams, Alabama, Ohio State, you know, get in that category where they, every year they know you're going to be a top 10 team.
And that's what gets talked about here, because they've had 10-win seasons here before. Not a lot, but they've had a hard time following up. A lot of room for Hank Beatty. If he can make one miss, he did pick up a 1st down inside of Western territory. His 3rd catch already. So 10-win seasons here in Champaign. They popped up every now and then. And you know what happens from there, Phil. People get excited. They want more, but they've had a really tough time following up that kind of success with more success like it.
Yeah, I think now, Paul, I do have faith that they can be better this year than they were last year.
Look at the patience there, a little stiff arm from Caden Fagan.
You know, when you have a veteran quarterback that we see knows how to navigate and manage the game, and you just got players almost at every position that can make plays to help you win. And they got a lot of that. So they're off to a great start. And this year, like we've already talked about, the anticipation, the 10 wins is not going to be good enough. We need more. You got the fans excited. It's going to be fun to follow.
And he's got great stories about the 2 years he spent with Bill Belichick as well. Interesting way that relationship started. Get to that here in a moment. 2nd down and short for Luke Altmyer. Little play action. In trouble this time. On the run. Nice catch there at the 32-yard line. Going down to get it. Big-time recruit out of Chicago, Malik Elsie.
Getting a little pressure on Altmyer, and he escapes, and nice throw on the run.
And they're operating with some pace now. Going back to work. Altmyer takes a shot. Penalty came in just as the ball fell incomplete. Went right back to Elsie, and we'll check in on the flag.
Personal foul, face mask, defense, number 0. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. Automatic, 1st down.
Use this experience to get better the next time. Think about where you have to improve, and that conversation turned into 2 years coaching with Bill in New England. Altmyer, again protected. End zone. We're turning around and almost coming up with that with Hudson Clement. He was the #1 receiver for West Virginia last year. You can see that Altmyer wants that one back.
Yeah, pretty good coverage. You're taking a great throw to get that touchdown, but go back to coach. Well, let's watch this play first. Nice little stutter. Go. Oh, boy, getting held. Right there, you got to throw a line drive right at the back of the helmet of the defender, like a back shoulder, gives you a much better chance to catch. But Brett Bielema said to, or Bill Belichick said to Coach Bielema, what did you do wrong? Learn from that. Think about what you did wrong when you were the head coach.
Fagan up front. Nice job of staying on his feet. And he gets inside the 15-yard line.
Paul, you're right, though. Boy, he's been around a lot of great coaches, and there's nothing, of course, when you're around these guys, Bill Snyder and all the ones you talked about, you take certain things from them that you'll use the rest of your coaching career.
And as far as that question he asked Brett, you know, how can you be better next time? What did you do wrong? We asked him, okay, you thought about it. What'd you come up with? He said he's much more big picture now. Sees down the road much better than he did in his early stints in Madison and Fayetteville. 3rd down and 6 right now. Altmyer. What about the 3rd option? Maybe he'll keep it or get sacked. Held on a little too long and is thrown for a loss. Lost 4 yards. Payne Miller and Kevin Washington in to make the play.
Pass protection has been outstanding for Luke Altmyer, but the thing is, great job down the field, passing receivers off, keeping the coverage, nobody open, he runs, and once again, he takes a hit that I'm sure the coaches are not happy about.
David Alano from 35 yards out, did miss inside of 40 yards last year. Has a message for every position group, and one of the ways he's really grown here at Illinois.
And don't forget, he played 6 days for the Seattle.
8 tackles for loss a year ago, 3 in the bowl game. Showing up already tonight. Our Western finding nothing up the middle against this defense. Aaron Henry told us it's the D-line you got to watch out for, and there they were. And Akis, I think a lot of people thought he might come out at the end of last year, decided to come back. Interesting that when they offered him, his only offer at that point, Phil, was Tulane. And after Illinois offered him, a lot of schools came in, and they eventually had to beat Tennessee to get him. But he's one of the reasons they believe strongly in that side of the ball here this year.
Well, you hear that story a lot, you know, that there's a great player in college that wasn't recruited. And you can't look at all of them.
Irvin back foot, open man. Big gain, Leathernecks out to the 43. Tight end Brandon Lanier with his first touch. So they want to move as quickly as they can, down 24, now inside of 7 minutes.
Well, that's who they are. This is what they want to do. Maybe not as much against this defense, but they had positive play, and here we go.
Flushed out, got to get rid of that one. And that's exactly what Joe Davis warned us of. He said, we're going to get guys open. Not sure if we can protect.
Yeah, that time defense was all over it. They tried a little, you know, hitch and go, a double move to get another big play, and the defense played it very well.
I was all excited to talk to Joe Davis after reading about all the offensive passing success he had in the last 2 decades as an assistant, now up to a head coach. And I asked him about it. First thing he wanted to talk about, though, was his book he bought in 1996 called Phil Simms on Passing. He was so fired up.
Oh, geez. And what did I say?
He said, don't believe any of it.
It was terrible. Terrible book.
2nd down 10. Irvin in trouble again and swallowed up.
You get passes, play actions your way, or you want to be the single side where you're the most explosive wide receiver and you get plays down the field.
West Virginia's top receiver last year, so there's a lot of talent vying for that spot. Bad snap. Altmyer, penalty comes in. Nice play there by Altmyer, finding Valentine, and a good cut.
Throw on the run.
Offense, number 64. 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. 2nd down.
Well, that's your man.
Josh Kreutz, the captain center.
Yep, just watch him real quick right there. Got his hands on the, oh no. No, there was nothing. It almost looked like the defensive lineman just said, I'm going down.
He still bounced the shotgun snap, but. All right, inside of 5 minutes now. Altmyer showing off a little bit of what he wants to show more of this year, and the fact that he thinks he can move well and throw it on the run.
Oh, I'm convinced of that already. His movement has been very good. I don't care about the competition.
We saw it last year. Pump. Look at that indeed. Downfield, wide open, man. Hank Beatty inside the 5.
Oh, the double move.
Got him.
Man, that is such a good route when you make a move against the safety. The safety thinks you're going across the field, turns it up, wide open, great route, good throw.
Talking about the wide receivers for Illinois, Beatty's easily the best one yet. 4 catches for 101 yards. First and goal from inside the 5. Altmyer. Touch pass. Little too much. Oh, and a late flag. Wanted Justin Bowick, and maybe he was held.
That's a good example that we talked about yesterday.
Pass interference. Offense, number 0.
Oh.
15-yard penalty for the previous spot. First out.
Against Bowick. So now the challenge gets greater back near the 20-yard line. Khalil Valentine spins down to the 12-yard line.
They got 3 good running backs. We like their offensive line. The quarterback's got it. The receivers, I think they're going to be fine out there. Paul, in fact, I think they're going to be really good.
Yeah, I think they believe the same thing. End zone. Another touchdown, Illinois. Justin Bowick has a pair. Not quite there yet, but you could tell he loved his potential. Extra point right down the middle.
Extra blockers, sometimes they need it. They're moving the receivers all around.
Leathernecks once again will begin on the 25-yard line.
That they got here, the head coach who he is, how he treats you as a man and as a coach. And they all know this is a good team to be part of right now.
Tried to get it to Demario Davis, their fastest receiver. Didn't make it back to the line of scrimmage. James Thompson, who spent the last few years playing at Wisconsin, threw him for a loss of 1. It's not often in this day and age in college football where you look up and down the 2 deep and you're like, oh, that's an upperclassman who's only been on this campus. And they have that going in a number of areas. Boy, Western sure taking their time here.
Well, yeah, that's really what you should do in their situation. Should have done it earlier. Run the clock. Try to shorten the game. Hard to do.
Irvin in trouble. Boy, look at Akis track him down with a late push. He really closed on him there. The second time, Dagan Miller, their leader up front, their captain, at left guard, has lost his helmet. But watch Akis here, Phil.
Oh, listen. He has some look. Number 17, here he comes.
And there he goes.
Sheds the blocker.
Chris Sims, the man next to me, calls him Christopher.
That's the name we gave him.
Well done, Chris. To the sideline. And that's incomplete. Demario Davis, they have tried so hard to get their best playmaker the ball. Just hasn't worked. And so now the punt team comes back on. And that's been a snapshot. You've seen a lot of this so far, Phil. Joe Davis, after a drive, asking Chris Irvin what's going on.
Yeah, no, look, they're losing, but the fact the offense, it's a double whammy for him. The offense is just doing nothing to help the football team.
Flag is down. Hank Beatty wanted to field that one and let it go. He's pushed in the back as he got the ball.
Illegal formation, offense, 5 men in the backfield. 5-yard penalty for the previous spot. 4th down.
You know, crossing the receivers, and then what do? The next time you change it, fake the cross, break it back out, open for the touchdown.
Beatty got a shot to bring one back. Goes down at the 43. And now the offense with one more chance to take it down the field. Altmyer protected again. 4th option, Hank Beatty. He's got 5 catches and he's inside of Western territory.
Well, this offensive line, so talked about how good they are, everything like that, the pass protection. I understand who they're playing against, but it's still magnificent.
Blitz picked up. Altmyer in trouble. And this time he goes down. Picked up the blitzer to his left, but the defenders to his right got him. David Dunston, the first one there. Defensive coordinator Landon Fox, first season running the defense for Western.
Illinois, their first charge timeout of the half will be a 30-second timeout.
Head coach.
Game clock operator, please reset the game clock to 56 seconds. 56, please.
Third down and 13. Altmyer in trouble again. Just got that one off. The Western's running with it. Looked like an incomplete pass.
It was.
Thank you. And that's 2 plays in a row. Landon Fox blitz got home.
Ruling on the field is an incomplete pass. Fourth down.
Jalen Nicholas, the first blitzer there.
Let's see what they do. All wrap around. And finally all the way in the backfield. Good call on the defensive side. And why not? The score, you're down 31-0. Go ahead and be aggressive and take chances.
Offense, number 9. Lost it down. The spot of the foul. It'll be 4th down. Because the foul stopped the clock, there's a 10-second subtraction.
I'm going to take a look here and see if there's anybody in the... Continue to sort that out.
No, nobody in the area.
Has declined the option for a 10-second subtraction. Clock will start on the snap. 4th down.
And not the best from Crimmins. High end over end. Fair catch on the 40-yard line. And now Chris Irvin starts this drive 7 out of 15. And as Phil mentioned, 1 timeout left. Slip screen. Try to find an alley. Got a little bit of one out to the 47. Eric Johnson. 4-man rush. And they got there. Sacked at the 39. Tomiwa Durochaye.
Hey, Paul, he's a head coach. They can always find something wrong.
Whoa, that was well done by Western. Kicked the ball out of bounds.
Well, that's going to be interesting. The receiver of the kick had 1 foot on the...
Ruling on the field, the receiver was out of bounds when he touched the kick. By rule, it's a free kick out of bounds. Ball be placed to the 35-yard line. First down.
Okay, so Khalil Valentine.
Yeah, really good job. Watch his left foot stays in, right foot out. Man.
That entire first half. We'll see what his defense can do to get started. Altmyer starts this second half 11 out of 15. 3 touchdown tosses as well. And Lawfrey drilled in the backfield from the front and the back. Thrown for a loss to start. Thinking about Western Illinois and their mindset. Here's Zora.
Well, Paul, Coach Davis knew this was going to be a tough matchup, but he still came into this game with some controllables for his team. One of those was execution, and he just didn't see it, especially offensively in the first half. He talked about missing protection, missing open players. He said in the second half, we have to find a way to run our system.
Zora, your message says a lot, and Phil, watching Joe Davis's body language said a lot too. Beat the blitz quickly to the sideline. Malik Elzy, nice job. He was the top recruit out of the city of Chicago 2 years ago, and they're waiting for him to take off. He got 15 there.
Yeah, he's got size, he's got speed. They're putting him over in a position where he can get some one-on-one coverage. Good job, strong, breaks the tackle.
And sometimes something can just happen internally when you go from sophomore to upperclassman. You've been around for a while.
Right.
Maturity level grows up. You feel like you belong a little more, and they would love a big season from him. Fake to Lawfrey, and that's the first touch for Dixon, and it's a good one. inside of Western territory, gets 8. We've talked about the receivers being a question mark, Phil, but they've had a number of them show up and raise their hand and say, you know what, we might not be that bad there.
Oh, I'm already convinced. I know the competition is not top flight or anything, but Paul, there's a couple things. The first half, just watching the play calls and all they have at their disposal, and all these players that are interchangeable, it's going to make them. It's going to be tough to defend this offense as the year goes along.
4 wideouts on the field right now. 2nd down and 2. Sideline again. Little pitch and catch to Tanner Arkin. Scored a touchdown to start the game and now has a 1st down.
Boy, Tanner Arkin, he's got the look of a good tight end. Great size. Of course, he's in terrific shape. He's young and playing football, but you'd like to see, I haven't seen it yet, but inside patterns by the tight ends. They've been splitting them out, trying to get them one-on-one and get some easy throws. But also, I'd like to see him stay inside and run some routes.
Illinois moving without much resistance here to start this 3rd quarter. Plenty of time there. Just picked out Woffrey out of the backfield. And they are just marching right down the field. They go from wide receiver to tight end to running back.
Yeah, really impressive. Woffrey, just another guy. Depth is, of course, playing in the Big Ten. The schedule gets tough. Play really good teams. You're going to get some guys nicked here and there, and it's great to have somebody that can come in and not really see the talent not far behind what they had.
Altmyer just flexing with those stats now. 15 out of 19, just over 200 yards. Now we give to Woffrey, not much there inside. Tackled on the 15. We talked to Barry Lundy, the offensive coordinator, yesterday. Phil, he said, you know, we asked ourselves when we knew that Luke Altmyer was going to come back, how could he be even better in year 3 as a starter? And he said, if I give him more responsibility, more say in the game plan, he's earned the right to have that input. We're going to give it to him this year.
Hey, no doubt about it. And, you know, meeting with Luke Altmyer, we could see, well, we saw a lot of things. We talked a lot. He talked about the first year where it was so hard on him. And I thought the one phrase he said, I quit thinking. And that's when it turned around for him.
2nd down, 10, play action. All the time he wants. That's an athletic throw, flings it out to the sideline. Clement with his first catch. From West Virginia to Illinois, gets 4.
Terrific protection, really good coverage by the Western Illinois defense, but when you got that much time, somebody's going to come open. On the run, let's watch him. Boy, very nice. Dipped his arm a little, went side, makes the throw.
How long were you with the Giants before Parcells and Ron Earhart let you have a say in what happened in the game plan, or are you still waiting?
Well, no, it wasn't that bad. No, you know, believe it or not, quite early. Like really probably in 1984 for the rest of my career. They wanted to know my opinion, which was really cool.
Altmyer tried to jam that one in there, a lot of velocity. And his roommate, the tight end, Cole Rusk, couldn't hang on.
You know, Paul, and you know, you played quarterback. You see it, what you see on the field is going to differ from what the coaches see.
Right.
It's like us sitting up here. It's not the same look to what these players have. So they need to ask you your opinion, what you think, what are you seeing? Maybe they don't see it as clearly as you do.
And just like Barry Lundy is letting his quarterback have a lot of say, Brett told us yesterday, I let my coaches coach. I pick them out carefully, and then I let them go.
Wow.
David Alano, piece of that one, didn't get there. Western special teams stepping up to start this 3rd quarter.
Well, saw a little emotion from the Western Illinois football team after that field goal was blocked. Kind of woke them up. All of them yelling on the sideline.
That didn't wake up the run game there. Illinois' defense in the backfield. Return to Ann Arbor. Chris Urban steps up. And that's going nowhere from the start. 3rd and 12, try the ground game. Boy, those are 3 plays they would like to forget.
The Illini team.
Well, we were driving over here today. The punt does get away. You said, boy, if they could just convert some 3rd downs early. Right. They missed their last 6. Hank Beatty's got some room over here to the wide side of the field. He'll get inside of Western territory. And then some. Hank Beatty. He got there. Hank Beatty, have yourself a nice 5 catches for 108 yards. Extra point is good. And the long punt return for the score. A slot receiver, a master of the craft inside, and a lot of make you miss as a punt returner. Western will begin on the 25-yard line. Take a look and see if he is out there. He might be getting a rest now for the rest of the night. Try for the quick slant, incomplete to bring up 2nd down 10. Chris Irvin needs to get something going. 9 out of 18. Little gap inside there across the 30.
Can't get away from the defensive backs and can't give the quarterback enough time.
False start. Offense, number 67.
Could be a blitz. It is.
Bring 5, back foot. He's got work to do. I think he got there. Let's see if Irvin can turn that into something now. Oh, this worked early for him. Works again.
Worked again.
Good pick up on 1st down for Davis. And a late flag, they'll get more.
And they get in good position for the blocks because
Play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds. Defense, number 45.
you're absolutely right.
Maybe Western can piece something together here. A little bit of room off the left side. Picked up a couple on 1st down.
I understood it, and he was right. Watch it.
Look out. They're lucky to save the sack there. Trio of wideouts to his left on 3rd and 8. Man coverage, blitz. And that's another 1st down.
Wow, really good job.
Couple of 3rd down pickups here on this drive. Right back to it. Ball drops on the 25-yard line by Lanier that time.
Tell you what, they're not calling off anything over there. Another blitz.
Steps up, just got away, and picks up the 1st on his own. Trio of 1st downs on this drive. Reason for celebration for the Western side.
Yeah, look at this. Here they all come again.
Steps up, and that time he won't escape. Sacked at the 27 for a loss of 5. 2nd down 15. Irvin, middle. And down to the 21-yard line goes Eric Johnson, who's been a popular target tonight. Got 5 back. And stays down there. 3rd down 11. Irvin, pump fake. What a catch! Touchdown, Western Illinois to Maury Davis.
Oh man, you thought it was going to be intercepted, and he just ripped it out of the hands of the defender. Patterson, oh, what a job. Jumps up, got it, it's good.
It appears, you know, it has to be clear and obvious to reverse.
The pass was complete. However, the ball carrier was short of the goal line when he was down.
Oh, they're going to get backed up now.
Oh my gosh.
False start. Offense, number 52. 5-yard penalty, 1st down.
Hey, they got their starters back in now for Illinois. Akis is there, Matthew Bailey in. They want to keep this shutout. Chasing them outside. They go inside to the 4-yard line. They're getting it now, 2nd down.
Otherwise, I don't know if I agree with him.
Back inside, defense stands. He got 1 yard. 3rd and goal. Holman, there's Akis. Unblocked off the side.
He's going to get rid of that. Since they brought him in, Paul,
Yeah.
they're kicking this field goal to make sure there's no shutout. So Yeah, a little gamesmanship. I like it.
Antonio Chana. Boy, this is a chip shot, 20 yards out. And there goes the shutout.
Let's see, he's a lot bigger than I thought, and that 15 pounds really shows up.
He's only been in for one drive in the second half. They scored on that long punt return touchdown. Watches it every week. Picks out a Rocky to check out. All right, Caden Fagan redirects, gets the drive started in a good way. Picks up 6.
Roughest and toughest place to play football was in Philadelphia.
Happy that part of it's over, I'm sure. Nice hole for Fagan off the right side, and he's not done.
6'3", 255.
It's a lot of running back coming at you.
It's a defensive end.
And that's Bowick again, hit right away.
Boy, one-on-one all by himself up there at the top of the...
Probably would have liked to check. Gives to Fagan once again, who's been the feature on this drive. Okay, Khalil Valentine, the tailback now. Fagan has been the featured back. He checked out. Valentine, look at him burst through that hole. Still on his feet. Right back to him, why not? Hit low and high, stopped at the 20-yard line. Valentine checks out, Fagan back in. What? He had a hard time hanging on to that ball. Backs his way inside the 20. See if they can get the starting offense one more touchdown drive here. 3rd down and 6. That's going to be a free play. Wanted his tight end, Cole Rusk, who happens to be his roommate as well.
Offside. Defense, number 86. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Illini right now 3 out of 7 converting 3rd down.
Well, if they want to throw it, they got a severe one-on-one top of the screen.
Big time advantage there. They go to Fagan inside. And Pyle drives his way for another first. It'll be 1st and goal.
Because of play calls and, of course, because of their talent also.
7 rushes on this drive. Fagan stood up there at the 7-yard line. Clock continues to tick. It's going to be a heck of a game. Fagan cuts it back.
Oh, boy.
Oh! Did he get there? Yes, he did. Touchdown, Caden Fagan. Reggie White's not that big. He's not that good. He'll be fine.
Yeah, I never knew anybody said he's not that good, though.
Yeah, little ways up here.
But it's good, though. It's good. I'm learning a lot up here. Playing quarterback, you know, he doesn't throw it that well because they run the ball.
Right? Run it led by him a lot. They got a field goal in their last drive. That's not the way to start this drive. Incompletion brings up 2nd down 10. Play action. And that's behind his intended receiver. Illinois brings 5. Sideline shot. And a late flag comes in.
Pass interference. Defense, number 7. 15-yard penalty for the previous spot. Automatic, 1st down.
Falling on hard times and trying to make it back to that stature. They won 4 games last year. In trouble in the backfield is Irvin. Slowing it down a bit, taking the time off the clock.
Yeah, they're being smart.
And another flag.
Was it delayed?
Offense, number 5. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
And I watched it, and it was mostly the coach doing the work.
Irvin, another sideline shot. Almost a connection. Ball knocked away at the last moment. Certainly the expectation they have. Right up the middle. Princeton Williams did not get enough for a first.
You know, you got to judge it on who you're going to play when you get into that. And
they'll punt it back to Illinois, and Hank Beatty is back. 69-yard return earlier in this half. Fair catch this time. Biggest moment of his career at Northern, and now is the backup for Illinois. Hands off to Lawfrey, and that's how to get it started. Picks up a 1st down.
Looks like he throws a pretty well.
He gives a Lawfrey. He might go.
Oh, he's gone.
Aiden Lawfrey will have his second touchdown of the night. And the lead is pushed to 49 points. Leathernecks once again will start from their own 25-yard line.
You change, you just keep working on your motion until one day you go, I like it the way it feels this way.
You tweaked it, but that was still very Phil Simms-like. Okay, quarterback change here for Western Illinois. Tanner Zolnowski. I bet.
Oh my gosh.
Passing looked pretty good though. Hands off that time up to the 33.
Every fall.
But the Giants took you in the first round.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for that.
Zolnowski keeps it for the second time. A little bit shy of a first down.
We talked about it. We played him so much as a pro. He had always talked to me when the game was over for a few seconds.
Hank Beatty has one touchdown return tonight.
Oh.
Might he have two? Couldn't slip that tackle. Valentine, the tailback, he has been impressive tonight. Quick feet through the hole and then wrapped up. And Illinois going to ride this ground game. You recognize it because you've got a few of those yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Valentine wrapped up in the backfield.
That is literally something you'll tell your grandkids.
I sure hope so. Valentine wrapped up in the backfield.
Well, yeah, if he shows them what they want to see, then I would. Oh, man. Yeah.
A little fourth down completion between the hashes for 14.
Take the knee and the game is over.
The victory formation will have to do it one time, and that's it. Brett Bielema's squad never threatened tonight. Scored the first 5 times they had the ball. Good mix of the run and the pass. Big plays from the defense. And Brett Bielema's 5th season here at the University of Illinois gets started with a 49-point win. And Joe Davis is going to have to put the pieces back together because they got the Big Ten again next weekend on the road. Playing at Northwestern. Luke Altmyer was solid, 17 out of 22 for 3 touchdowns.